Hour number 2, Kyle Teeter, the owner of Supreme Tile and Flooring, continues talking about his business and what he experiences in the field day to day. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. About Your House is also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store, and they've been serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience. They offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
And welcome back, hour number 2. Got Kyle Teeter in the house, Supreme Tile and Flooring, talking, showers, bathrooms. You do any kitchen work?
Yeah, floors, backsplashes.
You do some backsplashes?
Oh yeah, do a lot.
What's the best, most creative backsplash you ever did?
Most creative. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Like the one I will share. Back years ago, back in 1991, I did a kitchen over in Sharon Woods, and it was fun. Remodeling's a blast because you work, as you well know, you work with homeowners and establishing some some creativity, something unique. For example, we sat down and I said, what do you, are there any special features you want in your kitchen?
Right.
And the guy was an oral surgeon, and he brought me a magazine and opened it up, and there was a Pella arch window. A Gothic's what they call it, a Gothic arched window that he wanted above his kitchen sink, and it was like probably twice as wide as the kitchen window he had.
Right.
So we had to do some major structural changes and headers and this, that, and the other, and move a plumbing vent, because there's typically always a plumbing vent going up beside that one to the left or right of the window.
Right.
Got to vent that plumbing. It's just the way it is, you know. And anyway, so he said, "This is the window I want." Well, then upon that, she saw the window and she said, and as we progressed, you know, we were going to put a ceramic backsplash in there, ceramic tile splash around this Gothic arched window.
Right.
And she said, "I would love to have a periwinkle vine, you know, with the flowers
just climbing up and
over the window." And, you know, and I said, "Okay, no problem, we can do that." So I made a template of the window, of the backsplash, a template, and laid it on the garage floor and cut all the tiles to fit that template.
Yeah.
And that template matched that window exactly. And then I laid it out and called the tile lady that was going to do the periwinkle artwork. And she came and got them, numbered them, put them in her box, did her thing, picked them all up, took them, and you know, did her thing, creativity, and gave it back to me and told me the sequence to put them up, and I put it up. It was great. Yeah. It was beautiful.
That's awesome. You know, that customer probably stared at that thing for years.
Oh, it's beautiful.
That whole process is just a fun process from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like people who don't go outside their comfort zone and do stuff like that, it's not a very fun process having your house renovated. You know, you do some fun stuff and you get funky with it a little bit, and all of a sudden it's a joy.
I think remodeling is a tremendous, it's just fun, you know, especially in passion. Passion's what I look for in people like you. You're passionate about what you do.
I am.
I know you are, and that's why I love having you on the show. And, well, on this program, About Your House, every week, I try to have people, I do actually have people that are passionate and love what they do. And that's what we need to give our kids.
Right.
We need to empower our kids. You got 2 boys, right?
I do.
Yep. Do they go with you to work ever?
Yeah, my oldest he's just visited a job site with me, you know, but soon I'm going to start giving him little projects to do out there, and he enjoys being on site.
Did you ever meet Steve Metella with Detailed Interiors?
I don't believe I have.
Well, he's a remodeler, but he's very meticulous, very meticulous. He did his own tile work for years because of what we've alluded to as far as quality.
Right.
But he's found some good tile guys now that he's really happy with, so he contracts that out. But very meticulous, and he would take his son JP with him, and JP's been on the show now, and JP probably going to be in construction.
Okay.
You know, he loves helping his dad.
Awesome.
And he does every aspect of the job, from drywall, finishing to. And you, what other trades have you dabbled into as a result of being in the construction industry?
I've done a lot of trim work. One thing I used to do quite often with my stepfather, and I really enjoyed doing, was cabinetry.
Custom woodwork.
Custom woodwork, yeah. Even just setting cabinets, ordered cabinets. I really enjoy doing that.
But typically, once you learn to work with your hands and your mind and do some critical thinking, sky's the limit. Everything's the same, just different tools.
Right.
Wouldn't you say that?
Well, I was going to say, once you, in my situation, once you get the tools to do a job, you find different uses for them. And once you have the tools, you can have some fun. Like, I feel like a lot of kids, that haven't used tools before and don't know how to use them, it doesn't have to be kids, just anyone. Once they have the tools and then they have the means to be creative, it's a fun process. And then you bring it into the business world and you live a fulfilling life doing stuff you love.
You do. You don't go to work any day. You go have fun.
Right.
Now, some jobs can be a pain. You have some tough ones occasionally that, how tough? Tough is relative, too. People say, well, just do whatever's easy. You ever get that? Don't give me that comment.
Right.
Because ease is relative. Is it going to be hard? Well, hard's debatable.
Right.
What does hard mean?
Yeah, the only challenging part of my job, I think, is the unforeseen things that you have to work through.
I think the biggest challenge of your job would get a big sheet of porcelain in the door and up the stairs and on the wall.
I wouldn't even consider that challenging. What I do is I take a piece of foam insulation board, 8 foot, and I'll carry it from my van all the way up into the bathroom and make
trial and error.
Yeah, that's what I do. So that part's actually quite easy.
Map out your route using a sheet, a template, basically.
A template, yeah.
You just take a template and you just go up the stairs and figure it out, your path of least resistance, you might say.
Yeah. What's that? What do you always say? Keep it simple, stupid? Is that what you say?
Keep it simple,
there
stupid.
There you go. Same thing. How are you going to get it up there? Well, let's try.
Yeah,
really light.
Critical thinking is absolutely necessary in the remodeling industry. A guy called me yesterday and told me about what he did all day, and I says, why did you do that? What else could I have done? Called me,
right,
and talked to me about it. Because you just spent a whole day sanding a handrail that you didn't need to do. He says, well, what could I have done otherwise? And I told him what he should have done. And he says, I didn't even think of that. Back to what I told you. Pick up the phone, call me, and let's talk about it. Yeah. Right? You ever call a constituent in a situation and get another opinion?
Yeah.
Absolutely. 2 heads are better than one.
Yeah. I'd rather learn from somebody else's mistakes sometimes.
I got a quandary. You ever had this happen? Well, and believe me, after 56 years in the industry, I've seen quite a few issues,
Yeah.
But you have to stop, step back, scratch your head, and think about things. Mm-hmm. It's like you go out on a job, this is funny, and you see a single unit that they're going to put in the bathroom. I'm going to say, where's that going? In the bathroom. I said, how? They looked at me and said, what do you mean? How are you going to get that in the bathroom? What do you mean? Look at the size and where you're going. You don't even understand the question. You ain't even attempted it yet.
Right.
And they couldn't put it in there.
They didn't even think about it yet.
Never thought about that.
Yeah.
It's just like these big walk-in tubs. Okay, buying a walk-in tub, put in the bathroom is one thing. How you going to get it in? How's that? You're going to have to tear out some of the wall to get the tub in the room.
That's right. It's true.
I know. But one of the homeowner asked me, Ray, you know much about the walk-in tubs? Personally, no, I don't. Honestly, I'm kind of ignorant actually as far as but I do know this. I've heard certain things, like it takes forever to fill up, then the water gets cold, blah blah blah. Now they've got inline heaters now that you know. But the point being, you got to get it in the room.
Right.
So these things you got to think of. You know.
Yeah, I can only imagine a homeowner buying one of those tubs and having it in their garage, assuming they're just going to swap out for another tub and not realize the whole wall and surround and probably floor and everything else is going to change around it, you know?
Yep, everything.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's called remodeling, but there again, the plan. Everything needs a plan. Everything needs to plan it.
Yep.
When you plan a job, don't you do it in your mind?
Yeah, it starts that way.
I mean, literally,
sometimes there's a lot of drawing out on paper, and
when you're planning a job and really planning it, you're doing it in your mind. It's like I tell homeowners, I've already installed this vent system 3 times. They look at me and say, well, how in the world do you install this 3 times?
Right.
On paper, you know, because when you call me to install something, I'm going to ask you some questions. 1, what's the make and model number of what you have? 2, what's the make and model number of what you want to put in there? And then I'd pull it up online, all the specs, and make sure it's going to fit. And 50% of the time, maybe a little less, they haven't picked the right product for the application. And I have to call them back and say it won't work.
Right.
Why it won't work is this is the reason. And I explain it to them. I'd have never thought of that. That's why you call me.
Right.
Just like that guy that should have called me yesterday, and I could have saved him all day. You know, if you call somebody like yourself, can this be done? Well, yeah, but we have to do it this way, you know.
Yep.
So, hey, 2 heads are always better than 1.
Yeah, and when it comes to building a bathroom, there's multiple trades, right? So I might tell a plumber what I want to do, and then he tells me something about, like you're saying, well, if we're going to do this, I got to do this, this, and that. And, you know, we plan that aspect of the project to make sure everything works.
And essentially everything in a tight space, such as a kitchen or a bathroom, tell me another room as complicated as those 2 rooms. Maybe the laundry room, maybe. A little bit? Very little.
Not even close.
Right, but, you know, but between the kitchen and the bathroom, it's teamwork.
It is.
It's total teamwork if you're working with a group of contractors and electrician. And the electrical aspect of it, there's more electrical in a bathroom than ever before, too.
Yeah, for sure. In showers, you got.
What's available electrically? LED lighting?
Yeah, definitely LED lighting, and then some other things that we have to work with are towel warmers, heating, floor heating, electric heating, bench heating.
How's that working? Floor heating, pretty good systems.
Oh yeah, for sure. Wired heat is a great solution for a bathroom. Do it all the time.
Are you putting many heated floors in?
A good amount. Some people, I think I did a lot more back in New Jersey when the winters were a little bit more cold.
Well, yeah, it's colder up there.
I will say that it is very comfortable. People who've never experienced floor heat have never experienced floor heat. The warmth just surrounds you. It's it's an efficient way to heat something, and it's just so comfortable.
Does it add a lot of cost to the job? It seemed like it wouldn't, relatively speaking, it wouldn't be that much more money.
I would say, relatively speaking, if you're a homeowner and there's a couple things that you want to do to make it an upgraded bathroom, I think that's a good one. We talked about curbless showers and line drains, and those areas cost a couple $1,000s as an upgrade. Heated floor, I would say, is right there in the realm, if maybe even more affordable. And you actually get something unique that you can feel and experience.
I installed one heated floor in my career. That was right after they first hit the market, because it's relatively a new product.
Okay.
In the home improvement industry. There is so much that's come on the market since I've been in the industry that's just changed so much. I mean, I've gone from laminate countertops to here we are dealing with bendable quartzite
Yeah, that's
I mean,
amazing.
It's just tremendous, the technology and the advancement we've got in products and just resources. Been incredible.
Yeah.
And I can't keep up. It's hard to keep up with anything this day and time with technology being what it is.
Right.
And I wish I could, and you learn one system and then they turn around and say, oh, we've changed that. Like today's show, we got to update. And that's something we're going to practice too. We're going to update every week. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, or at least check to see if it needs one every week.
Because that's really gotten in our way several times. Technology is beautiful when it works, but when it doesn't, we don't want to go there. But that's the way it is. Talking to Kyle Teeter, he is the principal behind Supreme Tile and Flooring, and we talked about the mosaics and the art side of tile. Not everybody has that talent either.
Right.
As far as going to a tile installer such as yourself, are most people that you deal with aware of your talent?
No, I don't think so. Some people just find me as a tile installer and just call me up, and after getting to know me a little bit, get a better understanding who I am and what I do.
Do you ever throw them a bone, meaning did you an idea to a wow factor in the shower?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I always offer all the different elements that are upgrades for a shower, and we talked about a few of them: curbless shower, benches, niche lighting, foot prop for shaving, because they may not know about it. So I want to service them the best I can.
Give them all the information you can.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know, it's not an upsell to me. It's just like
information.
Yeah, we have all this stuff that we're able to do. Do you want any of it? And I'll usually, customers do perk up and hear something. Oh yeah, and we'll do that for them, whether it's anything. But like a lot of people. A lot of women like to get the foot prop, a little niche down there if they're not going to go with the bench. So not a lot of people.
Oh, they use a little niche to put their foot into to shave their leg.
6-inch by 12-inch niche.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, I do a lot of them.
Cool.
Yep. So there you go. If you want to shower now, you can have a shaving foot niche.
If it's a smaller shower, you can put a shaving niche in.
Yep.
Right, and do many people buy the wall niche for the shampoo? That would seem to be a very popular addition.
Yeah, most people get that over corner shelves or things like that.
Yeah.
Niches I do in almost every single shower.
Right. Mm-hmm. Cool. All this stuff wasn't available back, well, when I was coming up, you might say. I did a lot of corner shelves. But that's what I did, corner shelves.
Yep.
I didn't do niches. But anyway, let's do some sponsorships here. Talk about ABS Insulating. ABS Insulating is your go-to company for any installation, be it a new home, remodeling, or just upgrading. When I say upgrading, what I'm talking about is air seal programs. You lose most of your heat and cool through air leaks, believe it or not, especially in the summertime. Unbelievable. And you don't fight temperature. You fight humidity. Where's the humidity come from? Outside, air leaks. And just call ABS Insulating, give them a call, go online, absinsulating.com, check them out, and ask them about their air seal program. They've got the equipment, the knowledge, and the background to take care of any air leaks or minimize your air leaks, which is causing you discomfort. Attic space encapsulation. Attic encapsulation. If you've got a 2-story house, around 2,000 square feet, the footprint of that house is only 1,000 square feet, right? 2 stories, you got upstairs, downstairs. Well, if you've got an attic that's around 1,000 square feet, you would not believe the comfort you can increase in your house in the summertime by encapsulating your attic. Although the roofing is an important part of it, meaning if you've got an old roof and you need a roof, you may want to get that done first, but attic encapsulation can save you tons of money. And for example, every time in the summer months, your attic gets about 150 degrees. You encapsulate that attic, you're talking extreme 80 degrees. Never get above 80 degrees in the summertime. And think about it. If your attic's 150 degrees, every time your attic comes on, you've got ductwork in your attic, you're getting a blast of 150 degree air for a few seconds. Well, that's a lot of heat that you've got to re-energize with cool air. So think about it. Attic encapsulation. Call them up, absinsulating.com. Check them out. Don't forget their gutter division. If you've got gutter issues or gutter repair, gutter maintenance, or replacement, gutter protection, they've got you covered. That's absinsulating.com. Now, Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. Floor Coverings International, great company. They've got you covered as far as any floor covering needs you may want. Be it custom. We talked a lot about custom bathrooms today. Well, custom floor coverings, be it custom floor runners, custom carpets, custom anything. They got you covered. They're creative and they got a great staff. They bring the showroom to you. They got mobile showrooms. No matter where you're at, don't let the name fool you. Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte. If you're in Stallings, you're in Cabarrus County, you're in Gaston County, you're in Iredell County, doesn't matter where you're at. Lake Norman, they'll bring it to you. That's Floor Coverings International, Southeast Charlotte, yourflooringteam.com. And don't forget Queen City Home Store. If it's furnishings you're after, be it furniture, media, bedding, appliances, Queen City Home Store, one-stop shop. Yep, they've got you covered. Many locations in the North and South Carolina area now. Go online, check them out at queencityonline.com or give corporate a call, 704-391-6000. Today's show, we're talking with Mr. Kyle Teeter, the man, the creator, the artisan behind Supreme Tile and Flooring. And he's giving us a good rundown of information you need to know, because the vast majority of the tiles, the bathrooms that he remodels are done incorrectly.
That is correct.
That's pretty terrible.
It's bad.
And
it's really bad.
And the reason being, you can't find good tile installers, knowledgeable.
Right. Yeah, people that haven't actually educated themselves.
But the problem's not the tile going up, it's the methodology and the substrates behind it. Isn't that correct?
Yep. People don't use materials for their intended use, and they end up with big problems.
And they also think a caulking gun caulking the corner is going to seal that corner.
No.
It won't happen.
No. That silicone in the corners is for movement, not for waterproofing.
There you go. Now, and you can caulk it 100 times and it might stop the leak for a while, but it won't stop it indefinitely.
Correct.
And that's the kind of stuff that you see in remodeled bathrooms. Like I was telling you earlier, I saw pictures of people who would do one wall completely, and then do the other wall completely. How does that seal that corner?
Right, they can't tie those corners together.
No.
No.
And therefore, you've got to have. Did we talk about the certifications behind tile installation? We did at some point, but let's do it again.
All right. Yeah. So the industry has a certification, right? That is to be a certified tile installer. It doesn't matter what setting material manufacturer. To be a certified tile installer, that is a benefit to the potential client to vet out who they want to do their project. Maybe they don't know of any tile installers, so they bring in 3 guys. 2 of them are not certified and 1 is. If I was a customer, I would go with the certified one because he's went through the education, he's been tested, and he's passed. Right?
Also, call past customers. Ask your tile installer for references.
Yes.
And call those references.
Yep, that's very important too.
Call the references, because was he there on time? How long did it take? Did he do what he said?
Yeah.
Did he have any issues?
Did he get dust all over my second floor? Is there mortar splash on the building outside? I mean, yeah, there's more than just the pretty looks.
You got any more?
Yeah, I got tons of them. Yeah, certainly care in what you do and respect for your client is important. And then if you can get someone who's like that and is a certified tile installer, you probably have a winning team. So that is a certification from the industry. Now, all the different setting material manufacturers have their own education and certifications with their products. So the benefits of having, say, someone who likes a Schluter shower system or a Laticrete shower system, they've gone to their facility, they've trained with their products, and they've earned that certification, so they can actually offer their clients an additional warranty than someone who is not certified in their products. For instance, Schluter has a warranty that is a lifetime warranty, but it has to be done by someone who is certified by Schluter, who's been tested and got the education. So it is very important that you pick someone who's using a full system and is certified by that, who's certified by that particular setting material manufacturer.
And I'll bet the vast majority of the people getting prices on bathrooms do not ask for certifications or the credentials behind his experience and knowledge in the tile industry.
It blows my mind how there's such, electricians and plumbers, their trades are very important, right? Bad things can happen. So you have to have a certain license to do it. But tile installers, they don't need any certification. They could just go in a house, install a shower with leaks, and do potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. So it's important to gear up. It's very important to have a shower or a wet area or tile installation in general, right? Let's say it's not a wet area, but you want to have your entire first floor done in a wood plank, a porcelain wood plank. All right, but max spans are only 20 to 25 feet where you have to have a control joint. If you don't put a control joint in there, and maybe you get a little solar expansion from a sun coming through a window, it warms up the center area. Now all of your tile is fighting against each other to push outward as it warms up, and then it shears all of your tile off of the underlayment, right? You don't learn things like, having to have an expansion joint every 20, 25 feet unless you go find the education and educate yourself. And that is a big problem with tile installers who don't do that. Big problems.
Gotcha. It's called knowledge, craftsmanship.
Right.
Doing your research. We talk about college degrees. That's what we're talking about here, folks. Right?
Yeah.
It's called education. And then they say, what is education? You can't go to school to get this education in public schools. You can't. Trade-related industry, the trades. Now, where can you go learn this trade? You can't unless you're in the industry to find out where you need to go to be better. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
So see, what we've got going on here in our culture in America today is the lack of awareness in these trade areas. And you know quite a few tile installers or craftsmen in the tile industry, right?
I do.
And most of who you know are qualified installers too, aren't they?
Yeah, we tend to meet each other at events that are education based.
Right. So you become better at your craft with other tile installers.
Absolutely.
And that's the only way to get that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go to school, like you can't go to Aspire Trade High School and get knowledge or information about certifications in tile work. But you go to Best Tile and ask questions, could you not?
Yeah, you can. Yep, go ask questions, right? Go to all your suppliers, and they usually will have some of the setting material manufacturers come into their showroom that month to do a training.
Workshops.
A workshop, yeah. So it's all there. It's all available. You just have to go out and do it. Invest in yourself. Take a couple hours out of your day to go to these things. Meet these representatives from these manufacturers. Because they'll support you as well. And that's another thing. If you have someone working on your house that's very friendly and with all these setting material manufacturers, they'll bring them on site. If we have something unique that we want to accomplish, heated floors, going into a curbless shower, all these, with certain type of tile, obstacles to get around, we'll bring in these reps and we'll build it together right with the companies, the setting material companies. So it's very important to have somebody who's educated and goes to all these events.
There's no area in your home that's more important to be done correctly than a bathroom.
Correct.
that backsplash in the kitchen, doesn't really matter. That's all topical. And you're not throwing...
Very low risk.
Very low risk. It's decorative. That's all it is, basically. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes.
It's easy to it makes it easier to clean or whatever. It's pretty resilient. But overall, it's just cosmetic.
Yep.
But in the bathroom, not so. Very, very, very important that you be aware of the water issues involved. And once again, I repeat, Kyle, how many times do you go into a bathroom to remodel it and it's done incorrectly?
About half.
About half the jobs he goes to are done incorrectly that you tear out. And that's sad. But what do we... And you don't know it as a homeowner because you don't know.
Right.
You don't know what's behind that tile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most of the time, the homeowners don't know that it's done incorrectly until I pull something off the wall and there's just a mess back there. Whether it's plywood that turned to mush, or mold in the wall, termites, what have you. The big issues will be uncovered when you do that renovation if you don't spot them soon.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I hear you. Well, Kyle's going to have to bug out of here in just a few minutes, and he's got to pick up some kids, right?
I do.
And you boys?
Yep, my boys, Lucas and Leo.
Where are they at, if you don't mind me asking?
They're right now in Rock Hill.
Gotcha. So you got to get to Rock Hill.
Yep.
I hear you. Where are you living now?
In Rock Hill.
Oh, you're living in Rock Hill?
Yep.
I got you. How's traffic these days?
Horrible. Yeah, today's traffic was bad in Charlotte. It took me about an hour and a half to get here. And normally takes about 45 to 50 minutes, probably.
Took you an hour and a half to get here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it took me about an hour to get here from near Providence Road, too. Traffic was abysmal.
Yeah, it was bad.
Man, this town is getting absolutely brutal. Unbelievable. Well, I'm gonna play solo on this hour in the remainder of the hour, but I'm gonna say goodbye to Kyle here. And as I do, I'll go ahead and break into a commercial here. But Kyle, once again, how do people get in touch with you?
They could call me 609-848-3190. That's 609-848-3190. They can visit my website, supremetileandflooring.com. Or the best way to view my work is to go on my Facebook and Instagram, and they are both Supreme Tile and Flooring. You'll find me.
And you can also go to Best Tile, Harkey Tile and Stone, and ask if they know Kyle Teeter. And I think you'll be amazed to hear it. Sure, we know him.
I just did a vignette at Best Tile 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you
actually.
did?
Yeah.
In the showroom?
Yeah. So you can actually just go to Best Tile and see my work, and that'll be.
Did they come to you or you go to them?
Best Tile?
Yeah.
Oh, they came to me.
They did? Wanted you to do a vignette?
Yeah, I did a nice vignette. All nice emerald green glass with some really nice leaf floral type focal point. It's really cool, and I recommend you go take a look at it.
Now, let me ask you this, as far as resources go in the tile. If you're a homeowner and you want to get probably a great store to go to for product, what store would you recommend?
I would recommend Best Tile for tile.
Got it.
Yeah, Best Tile, Clanton Road. They are a great resource for them. Great salespeople, and then I recommend Harkey as well.
Harkey Tile and Stone, been in the city. You're talking about generational. Wow, it goes back. Matter of fact, back in the day, back in the early '70s. Yep, I said early '70s. The number one tile place in Charlotte to me was Renfro. Well, Renfro is Harkey Tile and Stone.
Okay.
You don't know that, but that's the original family were the Renfros.
Okay.
And then Robbie Harkey was a Renfro, and she married she married Jimmy Harkey. Excuse me, but her name Robbie's was Renfro. Robbie Renfro, maiden name. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to say goodbye to Kyle because you got to get out of here.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And as I do, you can just scoot out right in front of the camera. As he leaves, I'm going to go ahead and do a break here and come back with more. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate it. That's Supreme Tile and Marring. Do a little applaud there. A little applaud button. There you go. Yay! Sound effects. Good job. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it.
See you later.
All right, and he's out of here, and we're going to talk about Rhino-Lift Foundation Solutions. If you've got, I hope you don't, foundation issues, don't forget your sunglasses. If you got foundation issues, they're the go-to company. And go online and check them out. Great company, great leadership, great management, and total transparency. If you've got foundation issues or flooring issues or whatever the case may be, crawl space encapsulation, too much humidity, whatever the situation is, Rhino-Lift Foundation Solutions will take care of it. Go online, check them out, rhinoliftfoundations.com. And then Kilo Exterminating Company, 3 generations of professionalism, pest control company. To me, they're the go-to people. With every crawl space or foundation inspection, they will give you moisture readings. Not one, but several moisture readings around your bathroom threshold areas, and give you moisture readings to let you know how the moisture content of your crawl space is doing. For example, February, driest month of the year. If you have your crawl space inspected in February, you're going to come back with the lowest moisture readings of the year. August, the most moisture in a crawl space. Just tune in every week right here on About Your House, and we'll tune you into what you need to know. You can check with us. Go online, check out kilo.biz. That's kilo.biz. And today we had Kyle Teeter on talking about, tile work, be it ceramic, be it porcelain, whatever. But I want to talk about the rest of the show here around Put Tools in Schools and what it means, what we're doing with Put Tools in Schools. Put Tools in Schools started as an awareness campaign back in 2018 because me, being in the industry for over 56 years, well, at that time it's about over 50 years, and I saw this coming, this situation we're in long ago. I saw it 30 years ago, and I knew that we were headed for problems. And what problems? We've got kids today that don't know what tools are. We've got parents today that don't know what tools are and what they do. We've got grown people, grown adults, parenting kids, sending them to college with no idea of a career pathway other than the education. Folks, if that worked, I'd be all over it. But it doesn't work. Our kids today are not happy. The suicide rate has never been higher. Our kids are troubled. Screens. Reports are coming out. Data's fact. Screens are destroying our kids' cognitive abilities. Since 2010, right now our kids are let's just say they're less intelligent than the preceding generation because of screens. We've got a serious issue. We need to raise the awareness of what tools can do to a life. Now, that might sound kind of strange, but you just heard one of the craftsmen in the industry, tile industry, said that he is a happy boy, making great money, buying a home, supplying a roof, food, a great life for his family, all by installing tile, but doing it in a professional doing it in a professional, managed way to give the best product, great service, and happy man, making great money. We need to teach that to our students, to our kids. And the amazing results of that is when you use your hands and your mind, critical thinking, and learn to use tools, you'll never be without a job. Never. I promise you, especially in today's world. We talk about AI, artificial intelligence, how it's going to take over certain jobs. Already, last week alone, 6,000 people were laid off with one company. You know, it's kind of crazy. Why? The reason? Technology. So, and I'm getting more and more and more questions around AI. Ray, what do you see? How do you see AI affecting the labor industry? Well, fact is, you join the trades, be it electrical, be it plumbing, be it drywall, carpentry, concrete work, foundation work, painting, brick masonry, whatever the case may be, using these hands and your mind, critical thinking, tools, you'll always have a job. Always. And it's going to get even more needed. It's even going to be a greater value for futures. So you may want to take a look at pathways here, folks, around your kids and their development. Creativity. God made us all creators. We all like to create. We all like to have that self-confidence, that empowerment of creating things and making things better. It's amazing. It gives you a certain freedom that I take for granted because I've done it for so long. But having the ability to go in, fix things, repair things for homeowners is amazing. Now, what are we doing with Put Tools in Schools? One thing we're doing is doing this show, for example, at the Toolbox. What's the Toolbox? It's a facility in North Charlotte that we're creating as a workspace, a connector space. No, we're not going to teach a curriculum here other than connectivity between the tools and trades. We'll touch base on it. We'll have workshops around electrical, plumbing, heating and cooling, carpentry, painting, cooking, welding, masonry. I mean, we're going to have workshops in all aspects. Also, Kyle's going to donate some tile saws and tile equipment so we can provide that connection. See, whatever we talk about in the trades, we're going to have here at the Toolbox. We're going to have connectivity. We're going to have classes, workshops brought to you by different companies. Quick Kit was here. Quick Kit is a cabinet refacing, budget-minded refacing product that we're going to have a workshop here. We're going to have connectivity, if you get my drift. So, the trades, the Toolbox, we need sponsorship. We need sponsors to come in from industry. The fact is, when our students don't know what the trades are in the 8th grade, 6th grade, 5th grade, they have no idea what the trades are. And we're going to promote the trades. We're going to do videos around what the trades are to get out to the teaching administrative area of CMS, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. We're going to show up at career days, embrace these kids, engage them with activities that teach them what the tools are about. When I go to a school, all I do is, one, I wear my shirt, my red shirt with Uncle Ray on it, and I try to represent, I represent the trades to the fullest and in the best way I possibly can. I put tools out on the table, DeWalt power tools, 20-volt battery tools, and on one side of the table I put hand tools. And the kids come up and literally grab a tool and say, "What's this?" They also will pick up a power tool. And when they pick the power tool up, they'll say, "What's this?" And I just tell them to pull the trigger and let them turn it on. Let them make the noise. It scares 90% of them. And they put the tool down because it makes a noise. It vibrates. I've got a 4-year-old grandson that knows every tool in the toolbox. Now, why? Because he's shadowed his granddaddy. He's also shadowed his father, who does all the repair work in their home. My son is like a mini me. He's good with his hands, and he knows how, because I brought him up that way. He was always around tools, always around people who knew what tools were. So, folks, we need your support. We need industry support in a big way, because nothing's going to change until we can address and engage these kids, raise the awareness of the many opportunities, pathways. More than that, the happiness, the sense of accomplishment, the sense of empowerment all around using tools is phenomenal, what it can do for a spirit and the development of a child. So, folks, Put Tools in Schools is a way of changing the future around home improvement, remodeling, electrical, plumbing, all the trades, on connecting students with all the possibilities around what they can do for a successful, purpose-filled, happy life. Not to mention, make great money, Some people can even be self-employed. I hear the word entrepreneurship. What are you going to be when you grow old? When I ask kids, what are you going to be what do you want to do when you get out of high school? I'm going to be an entrepreneur. What's that mean? What does being an entrepreneur mean? I know what it means, but the kids have a vague idea. They've got a class around entrepreneurship. Did you know that, Riston?
Yeah, I did. I took a class, entrepreneurship, small business.
What'd you learn in there? What'd they teach?
They did like a business plan. You do that, and then you kind of balance a budget and all that, and then you.
Oh, they do teach you to balance a budget?
Well, that's what they did when I was in 2012. I don't know what they do now, but that was 14 years ago. But and then I did a restaurant basically, and you kind of just add in the costs, that kind of thing. So I mean, I think some of it was useful.
Well, it sounds like it could be very effective.
I mean, that's more than most financial things. That's probably one of the more financial things I learned in all of public school, because they don't teach you much about finances in that.
No, they don't, because they want to figure out a way to take it away from you.
Right, exactly.
You know, you can't have money. No, you can't have any money. We're going to take it from you.
Uncle Sam's money.
Yeah,
that's who it is.
It's our money. Well, the point is, entrepreneurship's nothing but business, right?
Yeah.
Going into business for yourself. Now, what other business could you go into giving service and purpose to people and be self-employed? I mean, you can't do that in corporate America, can you? Unless you start another corporation.
Yeah, but you got to start it small to turn it into a corporation.
Of course you do. A big company.
Right, yeah. I mean, you got to build it.
But when you go into the electrical field, in 4 years you could be yourself. You could own your own company. In less than 4 or 5 years, you could be your own boss, setting your own schedule, doing your own thing. Now, granted, you can't do that with a little expertise and knowledge around business. And one thing I would recommend personally, and I'll own it, my worst area of business was the business side. Most businesses fail due to that one reason right there. They're lousy at business. I was, and to some degree still have some bad traits in it today, because I never learned the business side. So if you're going to college to get a degree, why not be a business management, a business degree? You know.
Wait, what about, you don't like political science, Ray?
What? Political science, that's like liberal arts. What is
that's what I said as a joke.
What is what does liberal arts consist of? Seriously, I don't know. Somebody cue me in, you know. But a liberal arts degree is like a political science degree, especially. Well, anyway, that makes no sense. But that's just me talking. Hey, look, you be who you want to be. You do what you want to do. But if you don't know what the menu offers of life, like when I talk to 8th graders, I talk about this a lot, but it baffles the heck out of me. When I ask 150 8th graders, do you know what the trades are? And they say they don't have a clue. Look at the menu that they don't know about. Look at the opportunities they're totally unaware of. How do we change that? And these people are the same people that might be fixing your home. Scary, isn't it? Scary. And you know, what would you rather your child do? Sell drugs or be a plumber? Sell drugs? Now, I'm going to extremes here, aren't I? But in actuality, every Saturday I have a workshop working with kids. Right?
Right.
I'm working with kids from troubled families and troubled home life. Well, but they see hope. We've got kids coming in here every Saturday morning that see hope right here in this building. Hope because we care. Hope because they find a little tough love here. Tough love, what's that mean? It means you do what you're told. It means you follow instructions. It means you be nice to people. You teach them structure, teach them discipline, because that's what's missing. Now, where is that missing from? I spoke to a teacher, and this is a sad part of what we're dealing with in education. I know I'm kind of rambling here, and please bear with me here a little bit. This man has a doctorate, a PhD in curriculum as an educator. He's taught school. He's 36 years old. He's taught school, got a PhD in curriculum, but next year he's walking away. Why? Why is he walking away? Because he's been threatened 3 times. Threatened by who? Parents protecting their kids from the administration of school. Been threatened 3 times. He's
Which
walking
school
away.
Is this?
Doesn't matter.
Is it
it's public school,
public?
CMS.
Okay, got it. That's all I need.
Oh, yeah. Public school systems. Parents coming to take up or try to deal with student problems. We've got parent problems. Parents and these things right here are really affecting the outcomes of our students. Like it or not, believe it or not, we've got some major issues around the trades, around home service companies, electrical, plumbing, heat. The number of jobs needed right now in this country are in the millions. It's amazing. But we need your support. We've got a schedule on puttoolsinschools.org. We've got an events calendar, an events tab. And thank goodness Ray had a lesson in editing yesterday, editing the website. And I will bring that up to date here in the next week, totally up to date. But let's work on the year 26-27 school year. Industry, please step up. Check us out, puttoolsinschools.org. We need your support. We need financial support. We need individuals to show up. You realize how many teachers we've got in the trades? Relatively speaking, people like me are going away. Who's going to teach? UNCC's announced they've got a new course, construction management. Construction. They've got a degree in construction at UNCC. Wonder what that costs. I wonder how much involvement, hands-on involvement's involved. Because let me tell you something. The only time we learn is through application. That means doing it. You never learn anything really out of a book. You might learn facts. You might learn certain aspects of something, but you never really learn it until you apply it. Go out there and mess up, screw up, make a mistake. We need to get kids. Matter of fact, I want you to make a mistake. I want you to mess up occasionally. If you don't mess up, how do you learn? Nobody wants to, right?
Oh, it's awful, yeah.
Nobody wants to mess up, but we do, because that's just, we're human.
Well, if you do, you're psychotic, but...
Yeah, I guess. But the fact of the matter is, folks, we got issues. How are we going to solve them? Puttoolsinschools.org. You know, I really get kind of crazy about it because we've got such a problem, and people ask me, Ray, why are you fighting the fight? Matter of fact, an educator last week told me that I had to just accept the fact that industry isn't going to play with education. I can't accept that. I can't accept it. Now, maybe that's to my detriment. I don't know. But right now, I can't accept the fact that industry will not step up to the plate. I'm not going to stop.
To your mental health, yeah, it's detrimental. But
yeah, but that's okay. I've played this long. I'll keep fighting the fight. We have to. This has nothing to do, actually, folks, with the trades or labor shortage for Ray Terry. It has everything to do with happy kids, productive kids, mentally stable kids, and a future for those kids to give them what they need in life. And that's a career pathway that's going to give them back a nice paycheck, a good life, a family life, a life where they can raise a family, provide food, shelter, and the means to have a good, suitable life. And let me tell you something. If you're a plumber in America today, one, you don't have to get your hands that dirty necessarily. There's areas in plumbing you can work without changing the toilet. Yep. Electricians make great money, 6 figures. I mean, It's incredible. HVAC, heating and cooling. Amazing what you can make. Welding. And to all you females out there, welding is a great pathway for women. Women love it, typically, and do better at welding than men because they're more detail-oriented. Folks, I don't know what to say. I can beg you, go online and support us. Support us. You can go online and support us with $5, $10, $20, $100, whatever you have, we'll accept. But as we have summer camps this summer, we need sponsors. We need help sponsoring these kids, feeding them lunch, and we're also going to teach cooking here. And I want to thank Queen City Home Store. And next week, for example, Roddy Player's in studio, bringing us up to date with the Queen City Home Store and the growth and what you should expect from that store. But they've been a great sponsor of this program and the toolbox. They've stepped up. They've donated stuff here in the toolbox to provide, well, the 2 monitors behind me were donated in kind by Queen City Home Store, as well as the vent hood out in the workshop. We're cooking, yeah, buddy, and we're going to teach kids about nutrition, what to eat, how to lose weight. Health is wealth, baby. So we're going to teach that as well. So please, folks, give us the support we need. Next month, I'm doing a panel discussion here in Charlotte called Forward Women. How are we going to recruit women in construction? Well, I'm going to simplify it. I think to be nice, we've become we've made a mountain out of a molehill. I have found that once you put a tool in a child's hand and tell them what that tool's for, it's amazing where their mind goes and what they do with it. So all we have to do, literally, is get into elementary schools, provide an opening for kids to become aware of the trades. Follow that up in middle schools. Get in as many schools as you can. Embrace these students with activity, hands-on activity, and the opportunities down the road like the benefits in being in the trade. Benefits such as a 401k. Yep, you can establish that. You can, good paycheck, good working hours, self-employment, entrepreneurship. All of that is in the trades. Every bit of it. Matter of fact, if you go into the trades working for another company, within 3 to 4 years, you will know enough in this current time we live in to provide a job for you for the rest of your life. I know because I've helped many. I couldn't even put a number on it. How many students, or young men and women alike, I've helped or encouraged to pursue different career pathways that most of them were afraid to get in to start with. And through the years, I've taught various people, like painters. I can remember one guy in particular way back in the mid-'70s. He was a great painter. He could paint signs. He was very artistic. And I said, why don't you go out and open your own painting company? He says, because I'm scared. What are you scared of? I'm scared of being responsible that way, that it's all on me. I've got to get the jobs and do them. Well, several years later, I saw him, and he did just that. He went out on his own, was happier than he's ever been, making more money than he's ever made, and got plenty of work. Because the fact is, if you learn soft skills such as how to work, how to be good at what you do, show up on time, do what you say what you do, when you get to a job, clean it up, make it cleaner when you left than when you got there. Be honest, don't lie, be ethical, do what you, like I say, do what you say and say what you do. Mean it. Do it with passion. And if you don't love what you do, don't do it. Get out of it. Don't do it. So there you go. All right, folks, that about does it for this show. I got a minute left, and we're going to wrap it up by telling you Roddy Player's in studio next Saturday. Excuse me. Yep, next Saturday as well. Tuesdays, we air this show live, YouTube live. Go to YouTube, About Your House radio page, Put Tools in Schools channel. Like it, subscribe, please. Give us the support we need. We want to get those numbers up. Next Saturday, Queen City Home Store, Roddy Player, catching us up to date. So make it a great week. Find your neighbor, find the elderly, see what you can do to help. Spread the love. That's right, spread the love. If you don't know your neighbors, I would highly recommend that you go meet them. Not enough love being spread out there. So go make it a great week. More About Your House every week. Fox Sports Charlotte, 9 to 11, every Saturday morning. We'll talk to you soon.